San Jose Gurudwara.
They were going to work. They had no other intention but to be at work. And have news be told that we lost a loved one who's gone through such a unexpected space that we expected from violence has. To hear the news that they have died, I just can't imagine the shock of one of people. So today when we're here, we have to be here for anyone and everyone that has faced abuse. Because this isn't the first time. There's a report that came out, 45 gun violence incidents have already happened in the last month. That's unbelievable. We are here obviously because we are mourning before the Singh brother and sister, but what we have to remember is that there were other four as well. So imagine all those that have passed before them and faced the similar pain of what they've lost. So let's not let their lives be lost today, but be mindful that we have to be actively involved in helping make better policies and change, because it affects everyone. And when it's closer to home, then you realize the pain so much more. So without much more to say, it's a very sad event, a sad day. I hope the authorities do look into it. There was a hate crime, because Sikh community is a very, very small community. It's a minority, and how is the 50% of the 8 happen to be Sikh? So that's just too much of a coincidence. I know there's a lot of rumors going on that it could be, it may not be. But what matters is that we've lost lives again to gun violence. We've lost lives again to people that misunderstand each other and to mental health issues. But if we don't make a change for everyone, then we will all feel the pain very close to home. That's what this should remind us. But let's remember all of them in our prayers and the families that have lost their loved ones, and not only to this last weekend, but for the many that were lost and the many incidents that happened before this one. I think today was another one also. There was another mass shooting. And so that's very sad. But I will just leave you with this thought that we're here because we stand in solidarity. What more are you going to do in your today to make sure that we don't let this happen again and again and again? Right, you can pop
So this is in solidarity with the violence that has happened in Indianapolis. So this is happening again and again. You know, I know gun violence is a serious issue that we have in our communities. So ਆਪਾਂ ਕਦੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਵੇਟ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਵਾਸਤੇ। ਸੋ ਉਰੇ ਸੈਨ ਹੋਜ਼ੇ ਦੀ ਸੰਗਤ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਹੈਗਾ ਕੈਂਡਲ ਲਾਈਟ ਵਿਜਲ ਦਾ, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਸਭ ਇਕੱਤਰ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ ਉਰੇ। ਤੇ
whether it will be OC and whether it is today in Iraq. So in the survey that is did back in 2013, 70% of Americans don't even know who the Sikhs are. So that's where we need to work.
You go.
We need to tell who we are, where we come from. Thank you everyone who came today, but this shouldn't be the end of it. When you go home, I want you to call your representatives. I want you to call your officials so that we can make a change in policy.
Thank you.
Thank
you for saying that.
It will stop. Once again, thank you very much for giving me time. And I pray for all souls. May Vaheguru keep them and their home. Thank you very much. Right out, right.
Where's Michael? Wait a second, Papa. Let me just tell him who's here. Just tell him 1 second.
Just briefly, condolences to the families that were lost in the senseless acts of violence. like everyone's been talking about, like Mr. Jones said, talk to your neighbors, talk to your coworkers. If you don't know about them, find out about them, learn about them. It's going to be the responsibility of the other group to explain about themselves. It should be our own responsibility to learn about who our community is, right? We're a diverse community made up of several different members, and it's important to learn about each other. And also, it's a time for compassion. Talk to each other. We've gone through a pandemic. A lot of people are dealing with mental health, dealing with heartache, lost jobs, lost family members, and it's important that we all come together, support each other, make sure that we're doing okay. How do we control the beyond? And that, prayers to the family, prayers to everyone else that's lost loved ones. Why do you call it off? Why do you do it like that? I'd like to sum up what we're going to say a few words from ourselves.
Thank you everybody for coming out today. I did write down my speech just because there's a lot of emotions and things going through my mind, so just to make it easier for me to trace. Again, from the top, thank you everybody for coming out today. I believe it's important during tough times like this, we come together and share our pain and stories. My condolences go to the families and the victims of this senseless crime. Today, we are gathered here today for our domestic pains. Our parents brought our families abroad to live better lives, for a better future. For the past close to 20 years, since 2001, we have begun to see violence and outrage, not only towards us, but towards minority communities in the entire United States of America. I want our minority communities to realize we are the minority, but we are also the majority. President Biden, VP Kamala Harris, we demand you go show respect to the families affected in this senseless crime. To our elected officials, we look towards you for leadership and action. From community leaders to Gurudwara committees to city and government officials. To our community, local, every single individual here. What can you do when you go back home today? You can sign up for the phone bank. You can start calling your elected officials and tell them how you feel. How you feel about your communities, and how you feel about everything going on for the past 5 weeks, 5 years, 20 years, you name it. To our youth. To our youth, we look to you to empower yourselves. When this incident occurred, a lot of us had flashbacks to 2012, Wisconsin, at the Gurudwara. For me, I didn't do much action. I didn't do any action, I'll be honest. That's the difference we're going to make today. We look towards the youth, we look to each individual to step up to the plate to make that change. We are the future, and we will build the change starting today. We thank all the allies for coming out today. We look forward to building change by taking down the categories that separate us. I want our minority communities to realize we are the minority, but we are also the majority. Thank you for coming out today.
Thank you, Omar. I'd like to ask Michael Saheb, Milpitas School Board, to say a few words.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Michael Saheb, serving on the Milpitas School Board. I'm here today to say we stand in solidarity with the Sikh community. The Chinese American community stands in solidarity with the Sikh American community. Being the news, I see these reports, people are saying, oh, maybe this was a hate crime, maybe this wasn't, we really don't know. But I will say that given the history of racial and religious discrimination in this country, there is no reason we should assume that it was not a hate crime. There is no reason to assume that this was not motivated by some kind of bigotry. It is in trying times like these that we need to stick together as a community. I'm not Sikh myself, but I'm a great admirer. I know that in history, there have been many times when the Sikh community has been persecuted, has been faced with violence. Guru Gobind Singh faced persecution from his society for his religious views. His family was persecuted, his people were persecuted. But it is through these struggles that we come together as one community and grow stronger together. An attack on one of us is an attack on all of us. board now, and look at the history of education in this country. There was a case where Sikh students were not allowed to wear some religious items to school because they said, oh, it was a weapon. You're not allowed to bring a weapon to school. I want to say this. America has this thing called the Second Amendment. And we believe that when we are being persecuted, when we are under attack, while we do not like violence, we have the right to stand up, organize, and protect ourselves. That means
Could you just
speaking up,
hold this for a
standing up,
second so I have to tell him that was next?
calling your elected officials. This sort of stuff keeps happening because too often we are silent in the face of violence. I'm a Chinese American. A lot of times growing up, my elders would tell me when something bad was going on, they're like, oh, Michael, just keep your head down, don't fight back. You know, keep your head down and that's nice, and oh, they'll stop taking on you and bullying you. Just stay quiet, and eventually they'll leave you alone. Unfortunately, I don't believe that's true. Some people, when you keep your head down and when you stay silent, they take it as an invitation to push more violence on you, to push more hate on you. They start thinking, oh, when we picked on them, they didn't speak out, they didn't fight back, they didn't stand up. That means they're easy to pick on. I'm going to pick on them some more. Well, I'm here to say enough is enough. Enough is enough. It's time for all of us to stand together. And whatever I can do to help, I know my powers are limited, but if I can help with advising on organizing, on how to make change with your local government, how to speak effectively to your elected representatives and their staff, I am here for you. And we are here together. We will not stop until this violence stops. Thank you.
So this is Michael Tsai again from the Milwaukee School Board. We're actually planning a rally for families and kids together as well. We want everybody to come out because this is not just a one-sided message. And I can't just say this is what solidarity looks like. We need to show up to their rallies as well. Please note that the partnerships are necessary at this time. It's not about one person, one community, it's about all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Karanbir Sekhon from Indianapolis from Canada, and joining the vigil, so I appreciate you were coming. So we mourn the loss of life for our community and other members who were working there that night, not knowing what this gunman had, planned. Or so. May Vaheguruji give strength and courage to the families to bear the loss. So I would only speak about what could we have done better in our community. And
Would you like to say a few words?
I don't think so.
I'll tell you why, if you don't mind. Because we need to show that we all stand together. That's all we have to say, if you could do that. What's your name?
Cole.
Cole?
Cameron is the last name.
Cameron. And you're from this community area? In San Jose area?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cameron Park.
Cole Cameron from Cameron Park. It's a lot of C's. Okay.
There's a lot of history of institutionalized racism here. But today we're well established. We have people who are attorney generals of the states here. We have people who, have governors, or even ambassadors to this country. But what are we ignoring? The fact that, there is still institutionalized racism and misinformation and bigotry and indifference, I would say, ignorant people out there who do not understand what we stand for. We are Sikhs and we recognize all human race as one. And we have always stood up. This flag stands for without fault for learning privilege. It's not a flag for Sikhs actually, if you look at that. It's a flag for Saint soldiers who are standing up for the right thing, always, regardless of how many people are against you. So we consider us as one is Sawa Lakh. So one is 125,000. So what we know our values are, but we have, I think, not done a good job on that. So our community should start, although there are organizations like Equal Park Bridges and other organizations, but we do not still take this PR campaign that seriously. I think like every kid in school, when he looks at the turban, he should know that this is the Sikh and what he stands for. Everybody should look up to the Sikh. Actually, I think people should give us visa-free entries to all the countries that we have gotten out of the world wars. If we even just look at that, like don't even look at humanity, just look at those years of the world wars. We helped African countries out of the oppression, and European countries, D-Day, you name it, we've been there. We have been part of history everywhere. So it's high time that we start thinking about our message to. I mean, there is message already there, but the message should be more powerful, more consistent. It should reach every single household in America, and any country where there are people with conscious life. So and this is very sad that our community, even in India, is facing this bigotry and this kind of I would just say misinformation, people who forgot the history. So, Vaheguru Khalsa, Vaheguru Fateh, thank you everyone for coming out.
Thank you, Karanbir. I'd like to invite Arshad from the Muslim community to say a few words, and then Cole Cameron from the San Jose community.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity. My name is Arshad. I live in San Ramon, and Namaste. Assalamu alaikum. I'm a practicing Muslim. Today, right now, right here, to me is the most appropriate place for me to break my path with my brothers and sisters of the community who are hurting. And to all the victims of this senseless mass shooting, my thoughts and prayers are with all the loved ones of the victims. I want to be brief, just going back to 2012, Oak Creek. Please look it up if you don't know. 7 Sikhs who were in the midst of langar. They were serving the community. It's a very fundamental part of Sikhism. And the spirit of Ramadan is also about selflessness, sacrifice, and service. They were senselessly shot August 5th, 2012. My brother lived just a few miles away from where that mass shooting happened almost 9 years ago. And here we are, as many people have said, when is this going to stop? All I'm going to say is, please, there is hope, and we have to be together. As a Muslim, as a South Asian immigrant, first generation immigrant, I think we just have to work together, be organized, locally, at the state level, be active in spreading the word, and have meaningful legislation enacted at all levels of government. That is, it's about time that we have laws, sensible laws that are in place. And thank you very much. Thank
you, Arshad. I'd like to invite Cole Cameron to say a few words.
Good evening, everyone. I'm just really sorry that we have to come together this way instead of just as a greater community of multiple cultures in this valley. What I'm really sad and angry about is there's not more of a here support. that the media can get this out to the wider community. It's really needed. We have our school board member here from the Chinese community. I've got an immediate neighbor that got yelled at while he's out on one of his marathon training runs just this last week. Over in the Cambrian Park community area there near 85 and 17, around my neighborhood, I have many different cultures right around there. Really had a great time interacting with all of them. Being able to help my neighbors build his son's treehouse. I want to make sure this little one doesn't have to go through people in their places. Boys really need few elders doing a job because they really need that guidance. I'm just really so sad to be here on this kind of an occasion and celebrate a more celebrated occasion.
Thank you, Cole. Thank you, young members. Sekhon, come and join.
So, one thing that I just wanted to get off my chest, as far as having changes, having policies change, we can all work towards each other. We can all vote. We can all write to the representative, which is great. But I think it starts at a you and I level as far as accountability. If we're around somebody who's displaying racist behaviors, those behaviors need to be put in check. We need to talk to these people. Why are you having this thought? Why do you believe what you believe? If you're around somebody who is mentally ill, you need to get these individuals help. If you're around people that have tendencies to bully, we have gone on too long in our existence to enable people to say boys will be boys. To say, oh, this race is okay, they can be mentally ill, but this other one is only a terrorist. Each person here needs to hold each other accountable. When we go home and we see people involving themselves in stereotypes, we need to let them know. These little things that we ignore, they add up. These things build up. Writing for representatives will only do so much if we don't hold each other accountable. And that's not to say we shouldn't be writing for them. We should write for them. But at the same time, we need to hold each other accountable. And you guys go home, and you guys are on Instagram, and you guys are seeing people post certain things that may be funny. You need to talk to these people. You guys need to give these people help. Whether they're mentally ill, whether they're displaying racist mannerisms, we need to give these people help. Once we get them help, I feel like it would be a great relief for the rest of society. We've lost too many people. We've lost way too many people. We've lost too many people. Why do you need to talk about
We have actually 4 more speakers. I would let them know to just take 1 minute each, please. At 8 o'clock, we're going to get into the circle. Everybody's going to light their candle, and we're going to do a final prayer. I'd like to introduce our councilwoman in this area, Sylvia Arenas, to say the word. Councilwoman.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sylvia Arenas, and I'm a council member. I represent the city hall, but most importantly, I'm your neighbor, and I have been part of this community for some years now. When I heard about with great sadness. I don't know that I can say anything more than what everybody else has already expressed. I think what we can say now in this Magad, in this vigil, is to make sure that we continue to unite, just as you as Sikh community have, regardless of whether you're Sikh or not. You welcome everybody. You are absolutely, when I talk to my son and I talk about accepting religions who are so accepting of others, I always think of the Sikh community. Because you have accepted me, you have accepted so many of us who have come to you for assistance. When the floods happened, some years ago, we were the first ones to come out and help us. After the pandemic, after the fire, after all of the things that our great area has faced, we were always the first ones to come out and give without expecting anything back. For that, I truly, truly appreciate that. And I was reflecting on something that Mother Teresa has said, and it has been on my mind when I heard about the killings in Atlanta, and once again, the peace stories, and that is prayer in action is love, and love in action is service. And we must be of service to one another, to continue to unite, to continue to serve each other, as you all do every day when you serve food to those who are hungry, when you serve those who are in need. And we must do this even more consciously. And so, as I bow my head to honor those who've lost their lives, but also to ask all of you to continue to unite with all of us as you have done, as you Gurudwara has shown me. And thank you. Thank you for standing so strong. Thank you for inviting us all in. This loss was great. And just because it didn't happen locally, it doesn't mean that we don't feel it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvia. Before Taranjit Singh, Prabhu Singh, and then at the end, Dr. Gurudwara Saheb. I would like to recognize Gurudwara Saheb, who is here from India as one of our respected speakers. Thank you for coming out today. So Taranjit Singh, Prabhu Singh, 1 minute each, and then Gurudwara Saheb will wrap it up. And then if you don't have a candle, somebody will have the candle out and you can make a big circle, light them up, and then have a prayer. Thank you. Taranjit Singh.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Shri Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Today we mourn for the Americans who are simply living the American dream. I'm an immigrant. I moved to the States 5 years ago when I was 16, hoping for a brighter future. And I am doing that. I am living that American dream. One of the Sikh Bapuji we lost, it was his first week at the job. Next Friday, he was going to get paid. He was living the American dream. There's a reason why the United States is the greatest nation in this world, because of the American dream. As a healthcare worker, as a nurse who graduates in December, who has served the pandemic and how we are coming out of a COVID pandemic, it is so sad. As the previous speakers mentioned, there were 45 shootings this month. As if one pandemic is going, but the other one, the gun pandemic, the gun violence pandemic, is coming back. Think about that. In my senior year at high school, I would go to Evergreen Valley High School, which is, you would think there's a Gurudwara Saheb here, the community would be very knowledgeable about the Sikhs. 75% of the students didn't know what Sikhi is, who Sikhs are. I would like to end with saying two religious words. Tanasri Mahela Panjwa Hath de rakhe apne ko Sas sas pratpad Aukhi kari na karne Apna birat samad Aukhi kari na dekhan dehi Apna birat samad. Giving his hand, he protects his devotee with each and every breath. He cherishes him. He does not let his devotees see the difficult times. This is his innate nature. I urge all of the Sikhs to grow their faith stronger. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Shri Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Singh, Dr. Singh, 1 minute. And then Dr. Gurudwara Saheb, before that, Lal Charles, our city councilman from Santa Clara is also.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ.
We want to take a moment to recognize not just the victims of the Indianapolis shooting, but the victims of all mass shootings in the U.S. in at least 2021. Whether we're talking about Boulder, or Atlanta, or South Carolina, and now Indianapolis, considering everything the community is going through in India and what they consider their homeland, this is the last thing that the Sikh community needed, is more of their members passing. We've lost almost 400 protesting in Delhi, and we've lost 4 more, 8 total in Indianapolis. And we remember them through our faith, through our resolve, in whatever form that may look like. We remember them, we keep them in our prayers, and we hope that America can solve this pandemic of not only the issue of gun control, but of mental health or lack thereof. So we continue to mourn, we continue to hope for better days. We look towards the days where we can exist within safety, especially since after 9/11, the community has gone through hate crime after hate crime, and this is further evidence of these hate crimes continuing. So we look towards better days, and we hope for that. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ.
Thank you, Prabhu. Lal Charles Ji, Apne City Council. And then their speaker will be Dr. Gurudwara Saheb.
So this is a very sad moment, and sad moment is not the end of that sad moment. This is the 45th shooting in the United States, and we lost 8 lives. Right? All lives are equal. Like our Guruji mentioned way back, God, everybody is the same life, same God. So each life lost is a loss of that family, or loss for this whole country. Why aren't the leadership at state level, at local level, why aren't we doing something about this? It's high time that we do something about this thing. Gun violence, mental health, as mentioned earlier, these are the things we need to take care of. Let me tell you, we are not losing freedom if there are gun controls. There are countries in the world, New Zealand, Norway, Sweden, which have a much higher quality of life in the world. And we think that if we have gun control to one reason or the other, our quality of life will be less. No, that's not. Our rights will be lost. No, we don't lose our rights. We are trying to make this society a better society. if you have, somebody has a proof that these gun laws which are currently on the books are serving the society with 45 shootings just in 2021, I think we are very mistaken. We are very mistaken. It's time we work on it. And mental health issues and community bringing together each one of us. There are hate crimes going on. We call ourselves as to be the one of the best democracy in the world. We are not. Let me be very frank. We are not. If we work on our mistakes, we work on improving all these systems, we will be much better we should be. And with all that, like being a Sikh, we consider each and every human being as the same human being in the world. We take care of everybody as I will take care of any of my Sikh brother and sister. I will take care of everybody, whether any race, any creed, any religion, no difference at all. And that is how we can make this society a better. And I myself being Vice Mayor of Santa Clara, Council Member of Santa Clara, I will do whatever I can in the city of Santa Clara, at least to raise the flag, to move the needle, whatever we can. And it's up to all the city council members, all the state legislatures to do something. It's high time we need to do something about these things. We don't want to listen to any other shooting in the United States, and it's very disappointing and hurting when you listen to these things every now and then. So with that, thank you. Thank you,
God. I'd like to ask Dr. Gurudwara Saheb to say a few words, and then ask somebody to pass out if you don't have a candle, to make a big circle and do the final prayer. Thank you, Dr. Gurudwara Saheb.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ. I really want to thank everyone, all our elected officials who have taken time to come here at this time of grief for us, the Sikh community. Actually, it's a grief for the whole of America and all the decent people in the world when this kind of shooting happens. I just want to remind everyone here, we were just celebrating Vaisakhi today. And that's the day Guru Gobind Singh, the 10th Guru, started a new order of Sikhism called Khalsa. And he asked them to take on weapons. But before that, the 9 Gurus taught people the responsibility of taking weapons. He taught them that weapons is to be used very responsibly only for defense and not for offense, not for hurting anyone. So this country has a lot to learn actually from Sikhism. And we have failed as Sikhs to teach people here and the government here the same lesson. If they want to allow people to have weapons, there has to be responsibility on them. There has to be training on them. Their mental situation has to be strong enough to handle it responsibly and not just go ahead and senselessly shoot people. So we have to, as everyone has said, we have to move our legislators, we have to move our congressmen and others, our representatives to make a change. And the time has come to take this movement forward and not just keep it to ourselves. So with this I appeal to everyone that we should, whatever level we can do, our neighbors, our representatives, we have to push them that the gun law needs to be changed in this country. And only people who can responsibly use this and can be verified using it. Even bigotry is a disease in my mind. So those people don't deserve to have weapons. So with that, thank again everyone here, and our heart goes in prayer with the families that have suffered. Vaiguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaiguru Ji Ki Fateh.
ਸੋ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਸੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੋਗੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਸੈਨ ਹੋਜ਼ੇ ਤੋਂ ਲਾਈਵ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਸੈਨ ਹੋਜ਼ੇ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਤੋਂ। ਮੈਂ ਲਿੰਕ ਪਾ ਦੇਣਾ ਇਸ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਹਜੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਵਿਜਲ ਦਾ ਹੋਰ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਹੋਣਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਉਰੇ ਲਾਈਵ ਹੋਊਗਾ। ਬਾਕੀ ਉਰੇ ਲੋਕਲ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਵੈਨਸ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਵੀ ਪਾਰਕਡ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਹੁਣ ਉਰੇ ਕੈਂਡਲ ਲਾਈਟ ਦਾ ਵਿਜਲ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੋਣਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਦੇਖੋਗੇ। ਸੋ ਬਹੁਤ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗ ਹੈਗੀ ਉਰੇ, ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਪਹਾੜ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਬਣਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੈਗਾ। ਥੱਲੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਪੂਰਾ ਸੈਨ ਹੋਜ਼ੇ ਸਿਟੀ ਹੈਗਾ, ਅਤੇ ਸਨਸੈਟ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਫਿਲਹਾਲ। ਅਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਸ਼ਰਮਨਾਕ ਇੰਸੀਡੈਂਟ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੈਗਾ ਇੰਡੀਆਨਾਪੋਲਿਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਅਵੇਅਰਨੈਸ ਫੈਲਾਉਣ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਸੀਗੀ। ਤੇ ਬਾਕੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅੱਗੇ ਦਾ कार्यक्रम ਸੈਨ ਹੋਜ਼ੇ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਦੇ ਲਾਈਵ ਦੇਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਭਾਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਪਿੰਦਰਪਾਲ ਜੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਜਨਮ ਦਿਹਾੜੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਰੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ 400 ਸਾਲਾ ਮਨਾਉਣਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਰੇ ਆਏ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਲੁਧਿਆਣੇ ਤੋਂ ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਸੰਗਤ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਭਾਈ ਪਿੰਦਰਪਾਲ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਕਥਾ ਸੁਣਦੀ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਵੀ ਸੈਨ ਹੋਜ਼ੇ ਪੇਜ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੀ ਚੱਲੋ। ਤੇ ਬਾਕੀ ਦੀ ਅਨਾਊਂਸਮੈਂਟਸ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਰਹਾਂਗੇ। ਤੇ ਬਾਕੀ ਕੋਵਿਡ ਦੇ ਵੈਕਸੀਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਰੇ ਡਰਾਈਵ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਪੂਰੇ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਕੈਲੀਫੋਰਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਹਜੇ ਕੋਵਿਡ ਦਾ ਵੈਕਸੀਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਿਆ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਜੀ।